One day into the job, and has Chaim Bloom already angered the Cardinals fan base? We'll talk about it on today's episode of Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafron, a former national radio sports anchor, born and raised in St. Louis, and a lifetime Cardinals fan, and I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. This is a show that serves Cardinal Nation and gives you all the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code Locked On MLB for $20 off your first purchase. On today's episode, we'll dabble into some of the wild card discussions, things that happened on the first day of the MLB postseason. Once again, we're seeing some former Cardinals do some good things in the postseason. Unfortunately, they're doing it for other teams. But a lot of today's show is going to be focused on reactions to everything we heard yesterday at the press conference, introducing Chaim Bloom as the new president of baseball operations. Most specifically, we're going to talk about the one decision that has already upset some fans. And, you know, Chaim had a chance right out of the gate to swing for the fences and do something that would appease a lot of the fan base who has frankly been underwhelmed and disappointed with how things have gone over the last 3 seasons, so much that they've just quit coming to the ballpark. They're not showing up at Busch Stadium anymore. It's still incredible to me that this front office has been able to destroy the one thing that I thought was indestructible, and that was their connection to this fan base. And I realize that the feedback I get doesn't speak for the whole fan base. I understand that. It's a small percentage. But at the same time, when you see Busch Stadium as empty as it was in 2025, I don't need internet trolls to tell me that something is wrong. Something is wrong between the St. Louis Cardinals organization and their fans. The one guy that most of their angst was pointed out was John Mozeliak, and he's gone. He's gone now after 30 years with the organization. In comes Chaim Bloom. Fresh voice, fresh attitude, new vision on how to do things. And then the word comes that the person to lead this new regime, these new happy vibe feelings that we're supposed to have, is the same guy that's been there while the team lost its fans. And that man is Oli Marmol. And I've been very clear about what I thought was going to happen, that Oli would be back. I never thought he was going anywhere. I thought that he would return. He'd be back for at least this final year of his deal in 2026. And when that is complete, Chaim Bloom and the Cardinals can revisit the idea of whether or not Oli is the right man for this team moving forward. It makes sense to me. I understood it. It did not surprise me in the slightest that he was returning, but I question whether or not it was the right move, and I think a lot of other fans are questioning that as well. Was a change at the top with Chaim taking over tainted by the fact that Oli was still going to be in the dugout in 2026? From the reactions I'm picking up, yes. Yes. People are bummed about it. They're like, ooh, cool, new guy. Same guy. God. The reaction to the news that they were going to be sticking with Oli was indeed, you know, that was their plan. That was the news that was dropped, that they were going to stick with him. It's ruffled a lot of feathers among the fan base. The fans want change, and moving on from Mo was a start. But keeping Oli, as much as I expected it to happen, it does feel like another kind of running in place type of move. Like, we're not going anywhere. You're just doing it again. And you know, if the Cardinals and Chaim Bloom announced that they were firing Oli and moving forward with someone else, I think a lot of the fans would have rejoiced. And I think I understand why, because for the simple fact that he is part of the old regime. He's Mo's guy, right? We don't want Mo anymore, right? At least that's the majority of the fan base. We don't want him anymore. So why do we want his guys still around? They haven't won much with Oli. Whether he's to blame For most of that is certainly debatable. I've stuck up for Oli on many occasions. I don't think he's that bad of a manager. But he is the face of a 3-year span of baseball in this town that has been losing baseball. You know, when Joe Torre was here and they weren't winning, he didn't stick around. They fired him. He went on to be great with the Yankees. Amazing how you put great players around a guy and he becomes a much better manager. But he's been the face of losing baseball for 3 straight years. And I know technically last year they weren't a losing team, but overall, record-wise, they are. He's been the guy in charge that has seen attendance drop to record lows. That's who people put him with. Like, they're like, when they think of all the things that are wrong, it's Mo and then it's Oli. Those are the faces that come to their minds. And, you know, we're talking about record lows in attendance so shocking that every time another team would come to town, the commentators couldn't help but point out how bad and weird it was that it's like this in the great baseball town of St. Louis. They would mock us. They'd be like, oh, these are the best fans in baseball. Oh, they just have a couple of down years and then they just quit showing up. Like, it was stuff like that, because I would be watching the away broadcast from time to time. I like to do that to see what other people are saying. And that's what people were saying. And these are guys from teams who haven't won nearly as often as the Cardinals have over the years. It used to be the Cardinals' worst night in attendance would be some of the best nights for some of these other stadiums. You know, we used to laugh and make fun of their crowds, knowing that when you came to St. Louis, it'd be a packed house. It'd be a fun atmosphere. It'd be a fan-friendly energy that you couldn't find in most places. Now it's a graveyard of boring, lifeless, zombie-like fans who almost look like they're embarrassed to be there. Like they're going to get made fun of for showing up at Busch Stadium. It's a weird vibe when you go to the stadium. It's not like it used to be. And in his press conference, Chaim made it a point that, you know, they're going long-term. They're thinking long-term goals. That's what's important here. And he said that normally when you stick to your long-term plans, things will get better in the short term. Is Oli the long-term man for this job? I don't get the sense that he is. It doesn't seem like he would be. So why not rip the Band-Aid off and start fresh with the guy you think is going to be your long-term man for this job? You know, these are the questions people are asking. And I don't blame you. I ask it as well, you know, and I thought up this situation in my head and I was like, ooh, that's kind of cool. Imagine, if you will, close your eyes and imagine, if you will, like the scene in Wyatt Earp, the one that stars Kevin Costner, which I know isn't as revered as the Tombstone version, but it's still pretty good. Anyway, but imagine Chaim Bloom walks into that press conference yesterday with the DeWitts, and here comes Yadier Molina right next to him. And he gets to that podium and he gets to the table and the microphone and he says, the losing stops now. Says things like, it's not going to be a quick fix. It won't be easy, but we've got a plan. We've got the prospects. We're going to get more. We're going to get more prospects. We're going to find better players. And we're going to turn this thing around and put a team on that field that you can be proud of, St. Louis, that you can believe in again. And we need you, Cardinal Nation, to help us get there. What do you think the reaction would have been if that had been what transpired instead of what we saw yesterday? Which, again, I don't have a whole lot of problems with what we saw yesterday. You know, they're not going to just unveil this plan. There's plenty of conversations that still have to happen between, you know, Chaim and coaches and other teams and discussions about moving players around and stuff. It's not, you know, it's not a movie, but I feel like we want it to be sometimes. But what would the reaction have been if that had been what went down instead of what we saw on Tuesday? But instead, it's, you know, it's kind of what we expected. We know we've got work to do. We don't have any updates really on payroll to discuss with you at this moment. And for continuity purposes, Oli's coming back. Cool, man. I get it. I understand the frustration with the fans because there's part of me that feels it as well. You know, we want change. We want to just blow out everything that's been bad the last 3 years and start anew and get it going in the right direction. It's just not what they're going to do. It's not. And not everybody is upset about this. These are just my thoughts on what people are feeling. But up next, we're going to share some of your thoughts. We do have the angry ones to get to, but we've also got a number of people who understand what's going on and agree with the idea of bringing Oli back and how we have to view this thing long term. So we'll share some of those with you coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. There's nothing like catching a baseball game live. You get the energy of the crowd. Well, when they show up at Busch Stadium, you do get the chance to see your favorite team and players in person, which is awfully cool. But getting tickets, now that can be the tough part. Queues and login screens, prize fees. It just takes the fun out of the whole experience, which is why I use Game Time, and I think you should too. It is the app that gives the advantage back to fans. Game Time is fast. It's easy. It's backed by their Game Time guarantee. You're going to get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all the fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay, even for playoff tickets, which, other cities are enjoying that right now, not in St. Louis. But, you've got the Blues who were just in town. Their regular season is going to be starting up here real soon. So you're going to want to get your hands on tickets to go see them. And the app makes it super simple to get what you want and be able to trust it. You'll be able to see the exact view from your seat before buying. It's faster, cheaper. It's less stressful than any other way I've ever bought tickets. I think you'll dig it. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. Today's show also being brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's the 401ks, whether it's your properties, your investments. And when you don't have the full picture, bad things can happen. You could end up leaving money on the table. You don't want to do that. Everybody wants as much money in their pockets as they possibly can get, especially in this economy where it seems like everything is getting more expensive. And that's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. So if you put off organizing your finances, then Monarch's for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. It'll link all your accounts in minutes. You'll see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money for once without ever touching a spreadsheet. Maximize investments, increase your savings rate, easily reviewing finances with your spouse or partner and or financial advisor, keeping a clear view of your financial health week to week and long term. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you enjoy daily Cardinals content, you can follow the podcast on X at @LO_Cardinals. We're also available on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. I got hundreds of responses to yesterday's press conference, and I want to thank you guys for, at least for those of you who took the time to chime in and share your thoughts. It really does help out because it gives us content where we can discuss how you guys are feeling and what your thoughts are on what's happening. This is not a dictatorship when it comes to Locked On Cardinals. It's not my way or the highway. This is all of us in this thing together, man. We're one big ship, and if we're going down together, then it's, like I said, together. But hopefully that won't be what takes place. But this is a safe place to share your thoughts, good or bad, whatever you're feeling. So let's get into some fan reactions. We like to call them the Cardinal Confessions because, to be honest, just a more fun name, right? So here we go. Now, let me sum up a lot of these negative comments pretty quickly because many of them read the same. It's a lot of the same, just same dialogue. It's Oli must go. Oli's staying, but I'm staying away. Bad move. Another lost season. He's horrible. He's helped destroy Cardinal baseball. It just goes on and on and on like that. And I'm not dismissing those thoughts. There's just a lot of them, and they just kind of sound the same. So there wasn't any of them that had like unique thoughts on why Oli is such a bad manager or why this is a big mistake. It's just the same old of like, we got to get rid of him. We got to move on. And I feel like I summed up most of the reasoning why in segment one. So let's hear from some fans who aren't so mad about things, because believe it or not everyone is pissed off about this. We got actually a lot of positive feedback, which I think is great. It's refreshing to see not everybody being as angry. Honestly, we got a lot more positive feedback than I thought we were going to get. I thought it was going to be more angry people, but it's not. So here's a couple of them. It is unfortunate that a certain segment of the fan base are not into the long-term strategy. Seems they want big spending and win now attitude. The big spending thing is, even if you brought in one or two guys, they're not going to pay the guys that they're not going to give them the contracts. I got somebody asking about Pete Alonso earlier today, and I'm like, yeah, they're not going to pay Pete Alonso at this point in his career. They got Willie, they got Alec Burleson. So the guys that would make like a huge impact and might get them out of this quicker, that's not somebody they're going to want to pay for. And, Chaim said no shortcuts, which that would be a shortcut to go do something like that. Again, it's putting a Band-Aid over the problem instead of fixing the whole thing. Here's another one. I am perfectly fine with Oli coming back. I thought he's done an excellent job managing the pitching staff the last two seasons, and he showed a lot more willingness to shuffle the lineup quickly based on how guys were performing this year as opposed to last year. It would seem a bit reckless for Chaim to come in and just start tearing apart the staff when I'm guessing the players are as uncertain about their fates as we are. For 27, who knows, though? Just have to wait and see what happens. And I agree with that. I think you let Oli finish his 1 year. You see what the shuffling with the roster looks like, because, again, we don't know. We don't know if people are going to want Nolan Arenado. There was a quote from Chaim about, releasing him is not an option. That's not something they're going to do. We'll explore the trade market, and if we can't find something that works, we're more than happy to have him back. So they're not closing the book on Nolan. They're going to look at it, and I think they'll probably do the same thing with Sonny Gray, where they're like, all right, well, we'll go look at some stuff, but we're not going to just give you away, and we're not going to just eat a ton of money so you play somewhere else just to get you out of here. It has to be something that makes sense for the team. So we don't know what this roster is going to look like just yet, but hopefully we have a better idea of how things are going to be moving forward when we get to 2027. Here's another one. I completely agree on the direction they are going and agree on Oli. I've stopped trying to defend keeping him here. I like him. He checks all the boxes for me. I really just hope we get good Cardinal baseball in the next few years so me and my daughter can enjoy what winning Cardinal baseball is. Go Cardinals. All right. See? Positives. Like it. I like it. It's about stocking talent, developing it, and finding veteran complements. Oli has done a pretty decent job the last year or so considering who he's had. It's natural to have bumps in the road. Looking forward to bright days. I'm blessed to be a Cardinal fan. And that goes with stuff that I was saying yesterday, where you may disagree with some of the moves that Oli makes, and that's normal. Every manager gets it. Go watch any of the playoffs right now. Like, they're shredding Aaron Boone apart for taking Max Fried out of the game in game one. But if he left him in and he got beat up for a couple runs, they'd be mad at him that he didn't go to the bullpen. Like, everybody's going to disagree with managers. There's going to be situations where they screw up and they make mistakes and it gets pointed out, and hopefully they learn from them. Nobody's going to be perfect. But I still say that I wonder what Oli could do with a more talented roster. And I had somebody ripping me for saying that Mike Schilt wouldn't do much better with this roster. And the reason I say that is just because the talent on the roster, it's just not good enough, you guys. Like, you just have so many holes in that lineup, and you were starting Eric Fetty, Miles Michaelis, and Andre Palante 3 out of 5 games every week. Like, are you kidding me? How many managers are winning with that? I can't name any that are going to be like, yeah, we'll be fine. We can make this work. No, nobody could. And so to have the team within a playoff spot, a wild card spot, granted, with the final 2 weeks still left in the season, and to have traded away 3 arms at the deadline, I feel like he did all right. It's not where we want to be. Like, obviously we want to be in the playoffs, but I just don't know how another manager would have made it that much better. Like, who would he have gotten more out of this year that Oli didn't? that would have made such a difference. Like, is it his fault that Nolan Gorman and Jordan Walker haven't developed? I mean, that's his job. Like, he's put, like, it's on him. I just don't put that much blame on him. All right. He's never been the problem. It's a personnel problem. Try not to add aging pitchers to just eat innings. Exactly. Keeping Oli seems like a business decision. Letting Oli go and hiring another manager basically is paying for two managers in 26. Then if the CBA results in a strike, they would pay another manager in 27 to sit at home. Makes sense to keep Oli in 26 and don't renew his contract if there's a strike, and then see how to proceed with the manager after the strike. Further, given 26 is probably going to be a rebuild assessment year, it makes sense to keep Oli on the last year of his contract. There you go. That's where I'm thinking too. The possible work stoppage, in my opinion, has a lot to do with how things are going right now for the Cardinals. Maybe I'm wrong because the money side is really not my forte. It's not my specialty. I am more of a just watching the game of baseball guy. But I know that the Cardinals don't have any big contracts other than Wilson and Arenado past this upcoming 2026 season. And we know they want to try to move Arenado for a few reasons. One of them, payroll, obviously. Willie isn't breaking the bank by any means. So I'm curious how the payroll will be after the labor stuff gets figured out. You know, if you look beyond just the Cardinals attendance, you know, you see the stats, MLB attendance and TV ratings are actually increasing. They're going up. So imagine how upset fans would be if they screwed this up and we had a work stoppage in 2027. I pray that does not happen. I do not want to see them screw this up as a league, but people think there will be one, which sucks. Once again, leave your comments, your thoughts down below on YouTube. Obviously, you can hit me up on X anytime you want as well. Again, I appreciate everyone who takes the time to write in and, you know, be a part of this whole thing. Up next, I want to talk playoffs. Some former Cardinals doing some good things in the postseason. Again, whoopee! I'm not trying to rub salt into the wound. I just want to point it out because that's what's going on in the world of baseball right now. We'll get to it next on Locked On Cardinals. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. All you got to do is pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I did it. It worked out beautifully for me, and I'm still rolling with them bonus bets. It was great. I love how FanDuel gives me so many different ways to play. You can build the parlays. You can go player props if you want to. Even follow the live lines during games. Thursday Night Football tomorrow night. You've got the 3-1 49ers against the 3-1 Rams. A lot of cool players will be playing in that one. More of them are on the Ram side of things. I feel like Stafford and Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams and Kyron Williams. They're a talented group over there on the Rams side. Obviously, 49ers, you still got Christian McCaffrey. You got Brock Purdy. So those are some names to keep an eye on. Whether you're a casual fan or you love diving into the stats, FanDuel's going to make watching football even more exciting when you got a little something riding on the action. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. For your second listen, check out Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night until a World Series champion is crowned. Get local analysis, but on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. Day one of the Wild Card series began on Tuesday, and we saw three really good pitchers duels. And then we saw the Dodgers just flex on the Cincinnati Reds out in L.A. Game one, you had the Tigers at the Guardians. Tarek Skubal was insane. 14 Ks to lead Detroit to the win. Skubal, 9th round pick, boys and girls. 9th round pick. Sometimes you just got to get lucky, and you got to be able to hit on some dudes. The Cardinals have seen their fair share of this with Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina. Like, these were not first-round picks. Speaking of Albert Pujols, have you saw that he's the front runner to be the new manager of the Angels? I haven't seen an update since late last night and into this morning, but I know that, you know, the Athletic is starting to report on it a little bit. Like I said, you know, if you keep Oli, you might miss out on Albert or Yachty being your new manager. is it worth the risk that they might go somewhere else? And if Albert goes to LA for the Angels, I mean, he's already being paid by them anyway, so it does make some sense. But back to what I was saying, 9th round pick. So 2018 is when Skubal got drafted. Cardinals picks that year before Skubal went at the top of the 9th round. Nolan Gorman, Griffin Roberts, Lucan Baker, Mateo Heel, Steven Gingery, Nick Dunn, Edgar Gonzalez, Brendan Donovan, and Lars Nootbaar. So 4 of them have made it to the major leagues, which I know it doesn't sound like, oh my gosh, what about the rest of it? But that's actually a pretty good success story when it comes to the MLB draft, because it's not an easy one. Then you had Padres at Cubs. Mike Shilton Company fall to the Cubbies 3-1 in Chicago. Game-winning run scored on former Cardinal Carson Kelly's solo home run. Pretty good year for Kelly, who got traded in the Paul Goldschmidt deal back in the day. He's been to Arizona and had a really good year that first year, and then things really went south for him. Had to go to Detroit, and then he was in Texas before he landed with the Cubs this year and had a bounce-back season, 17 home runs, a career-high 50 RBIs. With that 1-0 lead, the Cubs are starting former Cardinal Andrew Kittredge is getting the start today. What? Who had that on their bingo card? That it was going to be Andrew Kittredge in Game 2 for the Cubbies in the Wild Card series against the Padres. Not me. Then you had Boston coming from behind to beat the Yankees 3-1 at Yankee Stadium. Garrett Crochet was dynamite. And I do got to point this out because, watching these telecasts and you're hearing the commentators talk about things. And I loved hearing them say things like, what a great job by Boston to acquire Garrett Crochet and Alex Bregman, as if these were like 2 low-level hidden talents that they uncovered and that they somehow found and turned them into star players. Oh my gosh, what an amazing job. Dude, the ass kissing is unreal on these telecasts. And I know we get it on the Cardinals side too. And you hear Chip and, Brad Thompson, and you hear these guys and the things they say. I get it. But I'm like, really? Really? Is it that astonishing that Boston went out and, oh my goodness, found Garrett Crochet and Alex Bregman? I mean, if I had unlimited funds and I sent you shopping in a grocery store and said, hey, here's $1 million, go pick me out a nice meal, I would hope you would be able to go and do that and find me a juicy steak or a chicken or something delicious and not end up buying a bunch of Spam and Funyuns. Like, really? It was that hard? No, you just had to give them money or make the trade to bring him there. Like, it's not difficult to say, I want that. That's good talent. I would like some of that. Give me a break. Then in the late game, you had the Dodgers whooping the Reds 10-5. It was 10-2 at one point before the Dodgers bullpen forgot to throw strikes again, which is the scary part about it. Because everything else about the Dodgers seems like they're unbeatable. And then they have this bullpen where you're just like, what the hell is this? Tommy Tanks did it again. Tommy Edman, a home run in this one, went back-to-back with Teoscar Hernandez in that third inning off Hunter Green to give LA a 5-0 lead. Yeah, you go back and Cardinals got Eric Fetty and Tommy Pham for him. And yes, I know Tommy Edman did not have a great year. I'm aware. OPS plus was 82, and they gave him 5 years and $74 million. But the guy was clutch in the playoffs last year and is off to a really good start again this year. It's hard not to look back at it and go, yeah, maybe we should have kept Tommy around. I'm not going to use the excuse that he'd been injured all year. It's like, that's what they did. They decided to get rid of him and keep other people. And he's got 1 ring already. Might get another one this year. All the game 2s are today and tonight. So come join me for MLB Game Night tonight. I'll be hosting with John Frisch from Locked On Angels. Maybe we'll have more clarification on the Pujols news by then, and we'll break down those games. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, give us a follow on X at @LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio, TikTok and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. Like, subscribe on YouTube. Help our channel and love for the Cardinals grow. You guys are the best fans in baseball for a reason. And I will see you next time on Locked On Cardinals. Thanks for hanging out.